I first want to take a minute to thank Mayor Palmer for coming to New York City to present me with this award. I feel that I share this with you. As I think it was mentioned, Mayor Palmer is not only the mayor of the capital city of New Jersey, Trenton, but he's also been the past president, of both the New Jersey Conference of Mayors and the U.S. Conference of Mayors. And no matter where he goes or to whom he ever speaks, he always delivers the message of ending gun violence on our streets. He has been a true friend to me and to the New Jersey Million Mile March, not only with his personal efforts toward gun violence prevention in Trenton and across the country, but with his cooperation and his kindness in the words in support of our local work that we do, as well as money to help us to continue. So again, I thank the mayor for celebrating this honor with me tonight. Thank you. And a special thank you to our New York and New Jersey Million Mile March volunteers who are so generously giving of their time to keep us running smoothly tonight. Thank you. Although I believe he's gone, I wanted to send my congratulations to Cory Booker, and my congratulations and my sincerest condolences to the family of Russell Timoshenko on being recognized and honored tonight. Now, the Brady Center Advocate Award. The dictionary says an advocate is a person who speaks or writes in support or defense of a person or a cause. There are so many of us, quite a few in this room tonight, who are working every day on this cause to end gun violence. I just look around and I think to myself, with this great group here to be chosen from so many, I'm really honored. And if you're interested in how I became involved with the Million Mile March, you can read, there's a biography in the front. I'm not going to read that to you, so you can find out just how I became involved. But tonight I'd like to tell you the story of why I am still, after almost 10 years, still involved with gun violence prevention and still involved with the Million Mile March. As you all may already know, the network of Million Mile March chapters is the grassroots components of the Brady campaign and the Brady Center. We're out here every day, hitting the road running, educating the public on gun violence prevention issues. What you may not know is that we are all volunteers in the Million Mile March, and truthfully, we can use all the help we can get. So I am going to ask each one of you tonight to sign up for a Million Mile March chapter in your area. It's easy to do. Just leave your name and your phone number out at the reception desk, and I promise that someone will get back to you by the end of the week. As I always say in New Jersey, if you could donate 1 hour of your time a year to this cause, we could staff we could staff an information table at every community fest that came down the road. If you don't have very much time and you only have a few minutes, maybe we could ask you to just call your legislator when a bill needs to be passed. And if you have no time at all, well, we can certainly use your money to. So there is something for everyone to do. A lot of the Million Mile March members are full-time, they have full-time jobs and young children to raise. Some of us are retired and are able to spend 120% of our time on the gun violence prevention issue. We are from all walks of life, and we are out here doing what we believe needs to be done, but we need your help. There are many facets to our work in gun violence prevention. Everyone here knows from the Brady campaign and the Brady Center that we need to pass sensible gun laws. So to that end, our members and supporters lobby in person and contact by phone our legislators on the state and federal levels. But we also participate in community fests, health fairs, school and parent events, and religious organizations meetings, speaking and distributing numerous pieces of literature targeted at parents of young children themselves, and teens, along with information on legislative issues. We spread the ask message to assure that every parent asks if there is a gun in the home where their child is playing, and to make sure that it's stored properly. We also tell teens to ask if there's a gun in the home where they're babysitting. You certainly don't want a 4-year-old running out and saying, "Look what I found." The middle and high schoolers are encouraged to speak up if they hear of the threat of a gun being brought to school. Younger children and teens alike enjoy our shoot hoops, not guns, mini basketball, and Million Mile March sun visor decorating activities, as well as taking the pledge against gun violence. We show them that there are better things to do with their lives than to pick up a gun. And of course, we work with victims of gun violence and their families. We provide local as well as national resources, but more importantly, we are there for them. We try to bring them together in special events such as tree plantings or t-shirt designings, just so that they know that they are not forgotten and that they are not alone. Sometimes that's all it takes to get them through another day. Many people think that all members of the Million Mile March have experienced gun violence in their lives, just as was mentioned earlier. But truthfully, most of us have not. We're merely trying to prevent this from ever happening. But we know that where there is gun violence, we are all victims. Someone once said that bullets leave holes not only in bodies, but holes in families and holes in communities. And even though it seems as though we are beating our heads up against the wall at times, there are those things that keep us going. Like when I was talking to some children one time doing a hand-dripping paint, where you put your handprints on our Hands Without Guns banner. And one little boy told his mother that a friend of his had shown him a gun. As they walked away, his mother turned around and over her shoulder, she just said to me, "Thank God you were here." And I'll tell you, I have one experience like that, and that takes you a long way doing what you do. And there are others that we network with along the way that keep us going. I'd like to just read a short thing, maybe it's not too short, but I'd like to read a little bit of a message that I sent out to our supporters in May of 2002. It was entitled, "Why We Go On." Some of you here tonight experienced this with me, and I'm proud that you are still here with me today. Very late one night, I wrote, "The Mercer County, New Jersey chapter held its second annual candlelight vigil on Mother's Day evening beginning at 6 o'clock. The weathermen had been forecasting severe storms all day. As I picked up the microphone, it began to drizzle, then it rained, then it poured. No one left. After a speaker or two, we moved up under the archway, crammed together as Senator Torricelli gave a rousing speech, telling us not to be discouraged by the weather year after year. It had been 50-mile-an-hour winds the year before, and to keep coming back to celebrate our important work. Most people probably wouldn't publicly report poor attendance, but we had only 40 people show up. The year before, we had 200. We could blame it all on the weather, but sadly, other than our committee members who were speaking, only one of our other members out of 125 at the time appeared. However, I am not discouraged. We had 3 victims show up that night, some of them to speak for the very first time about their tragedy. After hearing them and comforting them while they spoke with tears running down their faces, I realized that this work is worthwhile. Some had no idea who the Million Mile March was, but they were so appreciative that we had taken the time to remember them and their loved ones. Along with Senator Torricelli, we were also happy to have Congressman Rush Holt, a Mercer County prosecutor, a captain from the Trenton Police Department, a pediatrician from the American Academy of Pediatrics, several religious and other gun violence prevention group leaders, plus the chairman of the Million Mile March committees, all speak at the candlelight vigil. We were covered extensively in both of our local newspapers with pictures and articles in each edition. Even though we had a small crowd, by the tone of the article, I could tell that we gained the respect of a lot of people. So all is not lost. Although the amount of people present was not what we had hoped for, our presence is still reverberating. On Mother's Day, Congressman Holt said, "Gun violence is not a thing that suddenly appears on the news because the circumstances only come around once in a while. It is because the circumstances are there all of the time and require attention all of the time that we must continue to do our work. So I am pleased that you are out here tonight. It's because you are on the job in towns all across the state that we have some hope of addressing this. Thank you for keeping this up for so long. the Million Mile March has not faded. So this is why we go on. To this day, I remember those words of Congressman Holt every time I get discouraged, and I remember the tears of those victims every day. Again, I thank you for this honor bestowed on me again tonight, and I'd like to ask my husband Tom to stand up, if you wouldn't mind. And I've asked him to be recognized also because without him, none of my work would be possible. He is truly the wind beneath my wings.